Cow dung compost is the most valuable organic fertilizer that is used very widely and can be made at home following a few easy steps. In this video, I will show you the whole technique of making cow dung compost at home with updates, so keep watching and do subscribe to our channel. Cow dung compost is used by the farmers and gardeners from ancient times, and among all type of animal manure, cow manure is considered as a basic fertilizer. So this makes this composted form of cow dung so much useful. For making cow dung compost quickly, first of all you should focus on the season. The most suitable time for making cow dung compost is the summer days. Starting from late springs up to late summer days, you can make compost very quickly. And why is that? Let me explain. Bacteria and microbes decompose the cow dung and they like a warm area to grow and compost rapidly. So that's why it's the ideal time for making this compost. This doesn't mean you can't make cow dung compost in the winters, but the point is in winters it takes much longer time. Now let's jump to our first step of making cow dung compost, that is preparing our main ingredient, which is the cow dung cakes. You can get such type of cow dung cakes from your local nursery or farm. They are basically the dried form of cow dung and we can use them to make a usable compost out of it. You have to crush them into smaller pieces like this. This will aid the decomposition process. In the next step, prepare your composting bin. I am using such type of a porous basket. It will be very optimum if you can take a porous container instead of a plastic bin. More gaseous exchange means faster decomposition, so it's very important. You can also buy a similar bin from the video description. I am also placing a bowl under this basket so the draining liquid can be collected. Now it's time to add our microbes media, for which I am using these paper pieces. They are a great source of carbon required by the bacteria for a faster decomposition. After that you can add some compost or soil at the base. Both of them are full of bacteria. Just make a layer. You can also buy a good quality compost from the video description. So the final step is just going layer by layer, means add one layer of cow dung cakes material which we have prepared before, and then add a layer of compost or soil. Then again one layer of cow dung cakes, then again compost. This way make multiple layers on top of one another. After filling the whole composting bin, now it's time to water, and here we have to make the whole material moist, so do a deep watering. After that, now we should place this container in a shaded and warm area. After around 2 to 4 weeks, you will notice our composting material is settling down, which is the first sign of decomposition. During these days, you should definitely shuffle the material up and down. This will increase the aeration levels and gaseous exchange. Also keep the material very moist with regular and frequent watering. In the base bowl, you will see a dark brown colored liquid draining out of our composting bin. So it's the compost tea containing all the essential nutrients and benefits of cow dung compost. We can use this powerful liquid fertilizer on our plants. But first dilute it with more water, then add a glass of this diluted cow dung compost tea in every 5 to 8 inches of pot. After around 2 to 3 months, our cow dung compost will be ready to use. To check that, you can simply dig up some of the material from the bin and see if it's ready to use or not. A ready to use cow dung compost will be earthy in smell instead of cow dung's bad smell. The color of this compost would be brown to dark brown with a very loose texture. Our cow dung compost is ready and now we can use it for our plants. You can filter this compost, store it forever and use this time to time. For applying this homemade cow dung compost on plants, simply loose the upper layer of soil, then add a dose of this cow manure, which depends on plant age and container size. Simply follow the dose mentioned on the screen. After mixing it properly with the soil, do a deep watering. This way fertilize your plants every 2 weeks in the growing season. You should use cow dung very carefully because it's a high dose fertilizer and can burn the plant. A detailed video on some of its benefits and the right way to use it is in the description box video, must check it out. You can use cow dung compost on almost all type of leaf producing plants, especially at their younger stage. But when a plant is mature and have to produce fruit and flowers, cow dung is not a good choice. You can use a homemade recipe for flowering and fruiting plants. A video is linked in the description box to show you that. Except such plants, you can use cow dung compost on all type of plants, including indoor plants, leafy vegetables, seedlings, etc. So it's all about making cow dung compost. The only bad thing about this compost is that it takes months for it to be ready for use. That's why you can use kitchen waste compost instead of cow dung, which can be made at home within a month. Here is the video to show you the whole method. If you need an advice for your plants, WhatsApp link is in the description box. It costs just $5.